Hello, everybody, and welcome to this session of VidCon. For those of you who are just getting into editing and want to learn more, my name is Valentina Vee, and if you can hear me and see me on your screen, just to check that everything's working, write in the chat room where you're from. So if I see a bunch of locations, that way I know that everything's working and it's in tip-top shape. I'm coming at you from Los Angeles. A little bit about me. I am a content creator, but I'm not necessarily a YouTuber. I create YouTube videos for other people. And I've been doing that for about a decade. So pretty much as long as YouTube has been a thing, I've been doing it. Looks like people are tuning in from Ontario, South Wales, UK. Hello, New York City, North Carolina. Well, good to see everybody. I hope that you have been having a lovely, what is it, Thursday? Wednesday, Friday? It's Friday. Today, we are going to be talking about easy ways that you can speed up your workflows, whether you are a complete beginner or you know a little bit about editing already. I'm sure that some of the tips I give you will be really helpful to you in the future. The first thing that I would like to talk about is Premiere Rush. This is by far the fastest way to edit anything because you don't need to take any time. It's on your phone. You can shoot it on your phone. You can edit it on your phone. So for example, I have here also, I just want to let you know before we go on with that, I have some assets for you. So if you go to this link at the top, VidCon 2020, you can enter for a chance to win a free 1-year membership, 12 months of Creative Cloud, which is a huge benefit for those of you who are just coming to this particular session. And Adobe has created motion graphic templates that are exclusive just for people watching this right now. So if you go to adobe.ly/free templates, you'll be able to see it there. All right, let's get into, you can see my phone. It's mirroring my phone. And hopefully you'll also be able to hear it from what my mic picks up because I can't put the audio directly into it. So say that, I'm not a YouTuber again, but let's just say that I shot a makeup tutorial on my phone and I'm putting it in here and I want to show you how to make the eyeshadow like I want to make the eyeshadow. So here I have a clip at the top. If I just play it through, it is just a simple clip of me. I recorded this on my iPad of me doing my eyeshadow. Then I went ahead and you can open up here. You can add voiceover if you want. So down here at the bottom, there is a little icon that kind of looks like an E. So if you open that up, it opens up your tracks and I can unlock this track here. If I want to record voiceover, all I have to do is press on this voice button, on the little microphone button, and then I can just record the voiceover whatever I want. So I've already done that. So I'm going to not record it because it's already in there, and let's hope that we can hear it a little bit because I want to show you how quick it is to just make a quick video and edit it inside of Rush. So let's play it. Can you hear it or no? I'm hoping you can hear it, but if you can't, that's fine. I'm talking about the steps that I do. I put a primer, I take an eyeshadow, but the problem is my voiceover is really short and my video is really long. So how do I cut it up? How do I make it faster? How do I do all that? It's very simple. So first of all, let me lock this audio. So now I can't get at it. I just click the lock button on the track. And then with the video selected, I'm just going to go over here to speed and I'm going to go to range speed and just increase that. So now it goes a lot faster. If I press play, it goes a lot faster. So I don't want a range speed of 1,000. Let's just do a range speed of like 370. Let's do that. And then I can go ahead and right where, the first thing I say is first put down a base primer. I just use concealer and rub it in with my fingers. So that's it. I put a cut there by pressing the little scissors icon on the bottom. I listen to the next thing I'm going to say. Then I take an eyeshadow. So I'm going to cut again. And this middle portion where I'm kind of just looking for eyeshadow or whatever, as long as it's selected, I can press the little trash button. And not only does it get rid of that clip, but it ripples all the clips forward. Then I take an eyeshadow that's the same color as my skin, and I just set all of that, and that gets rid of the veins. So then I cut, and then I go to the next one, and I wait until it's on my lid, and I cut it. So there we go. Ta-da. That middle part, I can delete it. And let's just say that, I go through this whole thing and I finish it up and I have a completed video, right? But I also want to put this on my regular Instagram feed because it's under a minute long. So let me just cut it up and see if I can shorten it up a little bit real quick to the very end. And here we go. And then I can also drag the ends of it to trim if I want. So that's my video. It's like under a minute long. It's great. What do I want to do? I now want to make a version of it that is vertical instead of horizontal. So I can always, export this by going to the top. There's a little share button and it says ready to export. What are your settings? Do you want it 1280 by 720? No, I want it 1080. I can export. Then I have my vertical version, but I also want to make a horizontal version. So the first thing I'll do just to preserve this first is I'll go over here to the very left of the screen and there's like a little drawer icon. And if I click on it, I can see this sequence that I've created. It's called edited. It's over here. So I can duplicate that. And now I can rename it. So I'll rename it 02 edited vertical. Oh, square. Let's just do square. Yeah, so this is for my Instagram, right? And I'll go ahead and I'll open it. Now, there is a one-click way to make this a square. All I have to do is go down again to the bottom next to the E. There's that little icon that's orientation. So if I click on it, it gives me some of the most common orientations like for Instagram stories, 9:16, for Instagram, 4:5 or 1:1. Let's do 4:5 actually, because that's more along the Instagram, parameters. So I can go ahead and now I can transform it. Here we go. I can move it around. I can scale it up. And there we go. Now I have a video that's like that. And I export that. But what if after I've done my YouTube video, I want to do a promo for that YouTube video on my Instagram stories? Well, let's take a look at that. So the first thing I have here is, we'll go here, open it. I put together, actually, let's do it from scratch. So I'll add media. And for the Instagram story, I want to use a popular sound from TikTok. So I'll go to my camera roll, and what I've done, this is something that is really fun and a huge advantage of using Premiere Rush, is I've just screen recorded a popular sound from TikTok. Put a face on wow, right? And I will just bring that screen recording into my timeline here. So this is a popular TikTok sound that goes, I put a face on, and then there's a switch, and then it says, wow. So I'll go to the beginning of this TikTok, and I can go one frame at a time even, just to find that perfect frame. I'll cut it there, and I'll delete that. Then I'll go to the end of it. I'll go to the end. I'll cut it there. I'll delete the end. So now I just have the sound. I put a face on and then wow. But I also have the video attached from the TikTok. So I can just hard press on the track and go to separate audio. So now I have my audio separate from my video, but they're still linked. You can see they're linked because they have that little orange line around both of them. So I'll go open up my tracks, lock the track that has just the audio in it, and delete just the video. So now I have just the audio And right here where there's like that little break, that is where my transition goes. So I'll go add media. So I can either capture it or I can just add the media. I'll go to add media, camera roll, and find the video from like my camera roll that I want to use. I want to use these two videos because it's like a before and an after. So here the videos are. Bring them in. There they are. I want to find the place where it's right before I do the little swipey thing with my hand. So right there, let me go. So this is like for, if I'm doing an Instagram story and I'm recording the actual tutorial on a nice camera, delete the end of it. But I also want to make a promo for my Instagram story and tell people, hey, you know what? Go watch my YouTube video. Go check that out. So this is an easy way to do that. I'll go to where there's the cut. There it is. I'll cut that. There we go. So it looks like this. Perfect. I'll go ahead and I'll shorten that. I don't need the whole length of this clip. And I'll put both of these clips, I'll put this audio clip underneath them. There we go. And right where that break is, that's where my transition is. So I'll go ahead and cut this clip. Hold on. There we go. And then at the end here, I want to send people to my YouTube channel, right? I want to tell them that, hey, I have a new YouTube video out. So I want to do that with a little bit of a preview of what my YouTube video is. So I'll go ahead and first press plus and media. And this was my YouTube video, right? So I'll add it. It's right here. So one thing I can do is I can, first of all, change the scale of it. So I can make it a lot bigger if I want. And this only goes to 200, but if you click on it, you can always make it 400. There we go. I can move it around. There we go. And let's make it 300. 400's a little much. 300. Yeah, for now. And then let's do the speed on it as well. Make it a lot faster and pick like my favorite part of it. So I guess maybe the eyeshadow part. So I'll cut that, delete everything before it, go to the end here. Cut that, delete, and then let's extend the speed of it a little bit so that it goes to the very end. There we go. So I want to send people over here, but I want to have like a fun graphic asset. And one thing that just in this link right here, adobe.ly/free templates, one thing that you can get is you can get these 4 awesome templates from the Adobe stock store for free, just for you. So I'm going to actually use one of these templates to transition from this screen to this screen. So all I have to do is go to titles, more titles, and there you see, as soon as I went on the website actually, so when you go on the website and you sign in and you click license, all of these are automatically added to your library. So when you go to your library, they're already here. So I'll use this one, which is it's called Modern End Screen. So I'll bring that in, and this is what it looks like by default. But it needs a couple of fixes. So first of all, you see how it changes before the clip starts. So I'll bring it a little bit forward so that, and I'll extend this bottom clip out a little bit. There we go. Then the clip below, I can go ahead and transform it, move it around. Oop, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this clip transformed. Move it around, make sure that it's in that little window. And then I can also click on this text and I can change it. So if I say something like, this is my eye shadow tutorial, out now, probably put a space there, out now. Great. I can even, if I want, I can even double tap on select all of that text and I can change what I want with it. So right here under titles, for example, if I want to change the color, I can go ahead and do, say my brand color was like a magenta dark purple. I could say that that's my brand color, and I'll cut it off here, and I'll cut this off here as well and delete that. So now I have a little Instagram story to play for, to put in my story. And it took like just a few seconds to do. So watch this. Cool, right? Super, super easy. Let me know if you have any questions when it comes to Adobe Premiere Rush. This would be the time to let me know if you have any questions about it. There's a lot more that I can cover, but I also want to cover some things in Premiere. So definitely let me know in the chat pod or in the question boxes. If you have no questions and you want me to go on, just post a little heart in the comments and I will just keep going. This is fun. And I think I'm running on time, which is great. Just letting you know also that you can open up Adobe Premiere Rush projects. They're not just for your phone, they're cross-platform. So you can sync it to the cloud and you can open it up on your computer. And then you can also open up a Rush project within Adobe Premiere Pro. So let me show you this right here. So here I am in Adobe Premiere Rush on the computer. And as you can see, my eyeliner tutorial promo right here, I made it a little earlier so that it would have time to sync. But I don't know if it's had all the time to sync in the world yet. But basically, you can open it up on your computer and keep going. And then you can open it up in Premiere Pro and also keep going. It's fine. All right. If y'all have no more questions, because I don't think anybody does, I'm trying to see on Shindig, but it's not pulling up. Oh, here we go. Miriam asks, how does licensing work with the Adobe stock graphics? Are there limits in how many we may use legally? So you get a license to use the graphic as many times as you want in your projects when you purchase the graphic. So say that you have a YouTube channel and you want to use the same graphic all the time for your intro sequence, you can keep using it all the time. Or say you have a lower third graphic that you want to use, you can keep using it. Some graphics are free. In fact, there's a lot of free graphics. Here, let me show you. I'm here within the within Premiere Pro, where you can also see the graphics. And here in the Essential Graphics window, which you can see by going to Window, Essential Graphics, you can see all of the graphics that I currently have on my machine. But if you want to look in the Adobe Stock Store, you can also search for graphics, or you can select whether you want premium graphics or free graphics as well. So if you want free graphics, you can go and see all of the free graphics that are available that you can use in your project for free. You can type things in like lower third if you want a lower third graphic. And there's all sorts of fun graphics for you to use for free. So that was a really great question. Thank you for asking that. You can, there's a lot. And if the graphics were originally created in Premiere Pro, they are also very flexible. So what do I mean by flexible? Well, let me see if I can get my phone back up. There we go. Okay. So what do I mean by flexible? So this graphic that I just put on, if I wanted to make this a different orientation, I can just go to the orientation button. Right now it's 9:16. If I wanted it to be like, for example, a square, you see the graphic, it updates with the size of the frame. So that's pretty great there. All right. So let's go on to Premiere Pro. Nice Kid asked, does it work on Android? Yes. Premiere Rush is also for Android, I do believe. All right. So let's go on to Adobe Premiere Pro. Let me show you a couple of fun things and shortcuts that you can use if you're already an Adobe Premiere Pro user. I think you'll like this. Okay. So the first thing, let's not pay attention to these panels right here. Let me close them. So we have some very simple stuff here. Your program window, we have your source window, and we have your timeline. Now, the timeline is where you usually put clips, but the timeline can be used for so many things, including to highlight certain clips to use them later. It's called creating a string out. So right here is my main folder where I have all of my assets. I have my footage folder, my music folder, my sequences folder, my extra folder. And in my footage folder, I have files, and I also have some subfolders based on who was shooting the footage, what camera were we shooting with. So let's just go with my footage from the A7R2. So here's some footage that I have. And if I double click on a clip, it comes up in the source window, and I can scroll through it like this. Now, one fun thing is I can build a string out really, really easily with just a couple of very, very short shortcuts. The shortcut I, the letter I on your keyboard, and the shortcut O, and the shortcut either period or comma. So I'll show you how it is. So my hands are on I-O and period. Those are the three buttons that my hands are on. So I'll go to the beginning of this clip, and with my mouse, I'll scroll through until I find a frame that I like to start on, something like this. So I'll go I, that's the in point. I'll play it through to when she starts closing her eyes again. I'll press O, and then I'll press period. And as you can see, that clip has appeared on my timeline, right? It's appeared on, the audio's appeared on track 2. That's okay, because that's where it was targeted to appear. But now it's going to appear on track 1. So I'm going to keep going. I kind of like it to start there. Maybe start there. Oh, no, I like it to start there and end there. And then I press period. So basically, I'm just inserting the pieces of the clip that I want, the best pieces of each clip. That way, later, I don't have to deal with the entire clip. I can just deal with the pieces of the clip that I like. So all of the stuff where she's not looking at the camera, where it's like a bad take, where it's blurry, I don't have to use. So say that this is a fashion video, for example, that I'm making, right? Ooh, that one's a good one. There we go. Ooh, that's a really good one. And I can just go through. This is a very fast process. Watch how fast it happens. With just I and O. I can go through mounds of footage extremely fast and build together a little sequence of just the best clips. There we go. So I have this now string out sequence, and I can keep going. I can keep going with different clips if I want. It doesn't matter if they're dark. I can go through all of my folders. Let's see another folder that's a good one that I can grab from. Maybe Mike's footage here. Oh yeah, right here. This looks good right there. So this is called editing using in and out points, I and O. So now I have this sequence at the bottom. You can see all the clips. They are right here. And now what I want to do is I want these clips to stay in this sequence. I'm not going to mess with them because these are like my favorite clips. What I will do though is I'll get rid of all of the audio. So since I want to select all the audio, if I try dragging a box around it, it'll select both the audio and the video because they're linked. So one thing that I can do is unlink them. I'll go right click and then to the unlink. I can unlink them. So now I can select just the audio, but sometimes you don't want to unlink them. So I just did undo Command or Control Z. So I'll just hold down the Option button instead. And that will select whatever I want to select without unlinking it. And I'll delete that. So now all I have are these beautiful clips and they're all good to go. Now I have another sequence here at the tabs above. Remember, you can have multiple sequences. So I have my string out here, and then I have just audio here. So if I go to the just audio sequence, you'll see I have a song picked out. I can't play the song, both because I physically cannot play it on Shindig and because it's copyrighted, but I have a song picked out. And what I want to do now is I want to put these clips into this song. So the first thing I do is I'll prep this timeline a little bit. The first thing I'll do is I'll unmute it so I can listen to it, and I will turn on the track lock. That way I can't get at it. As you can see, this song is made up of multiple parts. So I just don't want to mess with that. I finished cutting up the song, so I'll just lock it. And then as I'm listening to the song, I will click the M button, the button M, and that will allow me to place markers over here at the top of the timeline. And markers are super helpful when you're editing anything to the beat. And remember, editing anything to the beat is just going to make people subconsciously think that your edit is a lot slicker than it actually is. So I'm going to just listen to it. You can't hear it, trust, but I am listening to the beat. And every time I press M, you'll be able to see that a marker, a green marker, appears here at the top. So I'm just going to press the space bar to listen to it. So I placed a bunch of markers. These are all going on the beat. So now what I'm going to do is a fun technique called pancake editing, because I have my string out here and I have my audio here, and I want to drag things from my string out to my audio. So I'll just grab the actual words, new string out, the actual tab. I'll just grab it and move it, or actually I'll just move the audio tab down. That's what I'll do. So now they're pancaked. So I have my string out here, and I have my audio tab down here. I can just rearrange it a little bit. So what's cool about this is that now I can go ahead and see, okay, which one do I want to start with? Maybe I want to start with like a close-up, something like that. So I'll just go ahead and drag it. And now I know exactly where the end of the track should be, because of the clip should be, because I already placed a marker there. So as long as I have this selected, my cursor's huge all of a sudden. As long as I have snapping selected, which is this little, what would you say? It's a magnet icon, right? As long as I have snapping selected, I can just drag the end of this clip and it's going to snap to that marker. So here I am. If I want to use a different portion of this clip, I just press Y, which is the slip tool, and you can see it transforms my mouse into now this little icon, and I can slip along that inner clip to choose a better portion of it. You can see up here at the top, what's going to happen is it's going to change. It's going to, two views are going to appear, the beginning and the end frame of the clip. And it's going to show me what I want my beginning frame to be and what I want my ending frame to be. So I kind of want it to start there and end there. So there we go. And I can keep going. And again, like, I do not have to really be super, cautious about this because I've already placed those markers. So I can cut it there, delete that. I can go like this. I can, some of those shorter ones that are already short, I can place there. So I can basically build my entire video from just the selects alone. Maybe this one I wanted to cover like 5 of the markers. It's okay. Maybe not. All right, so I'll build the whole entire video, and let's just go to where I've already built the video. So this is the final video that I've built, and it looks like this. But it has no color, first of all, because it's from a ton of different sources, and it's just all kind of, it's kind of, the colors are muted, I would definitely say, like that. So what's something that you could do to make the colors more vibrant, to make the colors more lively, and to color correct them properly? Well, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do. So if you go, you can either go into the color workspace up here, because I was just in the editing workspace. You can go into the color workspace, or you can go to window and then Lumetri color. And that's going to pop up your Lumetri color window, or Lumetri color panel, I should say. And the first thing I'm going to do if I want to color, for example, this clip right here, is I'm going to make it white balanced properly. So I'm going to go over here to white balance selector, and it has a little eyedropper. I'll go ahead and select that eyedropper, and bam, it is now the proper white balance. And if I go over here to effect controls, there's a tab for effect controls. Now that Lumetri color effect has been added. And if I press the FX button next to it, I can toggle it on and off so I can see exactly what that effect did. Let me know if you have any questions before we continue, because we'll do a little bit more on the color and some fun reframing things as well. But if you have any questions, let me know. Pull it up on the screen. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll just continue. Good question. So the question comes from Angela. She says, did you select the whitest part of the frame to balance the whiteness? Yes. So when I was there, I knew that those sneakers were white. I knew they were white because I was there. So I knew that that was a good white section to choose. Let's see if I have another good example of something white in the frame that we can choose. Let's see here, for example. I know that this stripe right here, I know that's white. So if I take the white balance selector, I click there, that is actually properly white balance, but maybe I don't like it exactly that warm. So I'll take down that temperature slider. Another thing that you can do is there's this auto button. So even if you don't know what any of these sliders mean, you can just click the auto button and it will do that automatically for you. And you can actually see here under, again, if you go into effect controls here under Lumetri color, you can press the effects button and you can see what it did. You can also adjust it yourself. So I actually want the exposure to be a little bit higher. I want the shadows to be a little bit higher. Another thing that I can do is I can add a creative look. So here under Lumetri color, in the Lumetri color panel, you have all of these tabs, right? Basic correction, creative, curves. So here under creative, you have this section called looks. And if you go down on the drop-down menu, you can see all of the built-in looks. You can also import your own, or you can use a built-in look. And just to audition it really quickly onto the clip itself, you can use these forward and back arrows, and that will audition the look before it applies it to your clip. So you can go through and see if you like anything that it does. Ooh, I kind of like this one, Kodak 2502 by Fuji. So now that I picked it here in my look, I can just click on it and it applies it to my clip. I can keep going though, and I can use this as a point of comparison. Ooh, I like SL Big as well, but not as much. So I'm gonna Command V, go back. I do like this one, the SL Big LDR. So let me click on that. I do like that a lot, but it's a little too intense. So I'll use the intensity slider here and I'll take it down a notch. Yeah, and I think probably my highlights can be a little bit higher. There we go. It could be a little bit like that. So now I can check before and after. Ta-da, ta-da. If I want to apply this Lumetri color effect to other clips, I just select it, go Command Copy, and then go to, let's say this one, right? This is before, paste, Command V. Let's see, another one that could be similar is this one. So if I Command V, there it goes. I can select multiple. There we go. This is a very easy way to color correct as well. Command V, I don't like that, so I can adjust. I can make it a little bluer, a little bit pinker, and a little bit brighter. There we go. Now let's see before and after. Now, another thing that you can do, which is really fun, is let's say that I want this pink right here to be brighter or to be more pink, more saturated. Because what happens when I turn that Lumetri color on, remember I added some exposure. So it kind of drowned out the pink, and I want to bring that pink back, and I just want to make it more poppy, a little bit brighter. So what I'll do is I'll go down here to curves. And there's all these fun curves, hue versus saturation. What I want is the hue versus saturation curve. So all I'll do is take, again, the eyedropper tool, and I'll eyedropper the pink in the image. And what it's done is it's isolated that pink color in the entire range of hues. So then I can go ahead and I can say, you know what? I want that pink to be more saturated. But if I go too much, you can see that it actually creates a really harsh line of demarcation here. But I want it to be a little bit wider than that, right? So I'll just extend the ends of this. There we go. And I brought that pink back. And you can see I can toggle it on and off using this checkbox here. Before, after, before, after. You can see it didn't affect her face or her body or anything else at all, because all I did was I isolated that pink color. So now I can go ahead and I can take that Lumetri color effect, copy it, and paste it to anywhere else that I really see that pink color shining through. But I don't really see it anywhere shining through here. Maybe on the floor here a little bit. So if I paste it, there we go. Let me do that again. So this is the Lumetri color, Command Copy, paste. There we go. So let me know if you have any questions before we move on to what I believe will be the last section of this tutorial. Again, I would like to remind you that, Miriam asked, is there any way to save color grading or effects to an adjustment layer? I often have to directly copy and paste from the sequence, not drag it from the project panel to reuse the color grading lately. Miriam, that is a really solid question. So what Miriam is basically saying is that you can add color correction. You can add color correction to an adjustment layer, right? So you can do something like, Miriam, I think you may need to come to my other one next Friday, because you're a little more advanced than this beginner tutorial has for us. But let's say that we add an adjustment layer on top, something like this, right? Because maybe I want all of our footage to be brighter across the board, or I have a certain look that I want to apply to all of our footage. So on the adjustment layer, I'll go ahead and I'll say I want it to be brighter, I want it to be more contrasty, and I want it to have a creative look that looks like this, or maybe this. I don't know. Trying to find a good one. This, okay? So let's just say that this is an adjustment layer, and it maybe my camera is always making things too orange. So I want to keep this adjustment layer steady, right? What you can do is you can create an entire project. So you can go to File, New, Project, and then just call it Adjustment Layers. And then in your new project, that's where you put all of your adjustment layers. So that's where you're going to create, you can create, a sequence, adjustment layers for fashion, right? And then in that, you can go ahead and, I don't know where my adjustment layer just went. Copy it, paste it. Okay, so once you have created an entire project of adjustment layers, you can bring that project into what is called a production. So if you go to File, New, Production, and you can create a production, and using the production, you can have one project that is entirely production, or one project that is entirely adjustment layers, another project that is entirely intro graphics, another project that is entirely I don't know, sound effects that you use. And that way you don't actually have to copy paste graphics, layers, sound effects, any media that you're constantly reusing throughout your channel. You don't have to copy paste it. You can just have one copy and you can use it from one project to another, as long as those projects are in a production. But that's a little bit more advanced. So I highly recommend coming to my next Friday's demo for that. Okay, so before we go on, so this, let's just say that we have finished our color correction, everything's done, everything's hunky-dory. Let me add a quick graphic. So let's go back to Window, Essential Graphics. Let's go to this intro graphic. Again, this graphic is available for you in the Adobe Stock store. It's actually, I believe it's this one that's in the store right now, and you can get it. It's exclusive VidCon only graphic, so you can only get it with VidCon right here at this link, VidCon, adobe.ly/free templates. So let's actually use that template in this project. Shall we? All right. So let's just say that we need an intro for this video. So I'm just going to take this template and drag it directly into the timeline. Let's see what it looks like with just that. That's what it looks like. Okay. I'm going to shorten it first of all so that it's not over her face. So I'm going to shorten it just to the first two clips. And then I can go ahead in Essential Graphics. There's a couple of tabs. There's the Browse tab. That's where you find new graphics. And there's the Edit tab. That's where you edit the graphics that are already on your timeline. So if I click on it, it goes to the Edit tab. And now I can type in Dubai Fashion, because that's where I shot this. Valentina Vee Productions. Or whatever. And then I can go ahead and I can change it to, let's say that my brand font is Proxima Nova. So I can change it to Proxima Nova Bold. I can change this one to Proxima. I do really like Proxima Nova. I can adjust it. I can even create maybe a stroke if I think that looks good. Change the stroke color. Say I have a brand color that I like, that I want to use. I can increase the stroke color. I can go ahead to the bottom one. I can put a shadow there. There we go. And now it looks like this, right? So say that that's done. But what I want to do is I want to create a square version of this. So I'll right click on the actual name of the sequence, fashion vid, no graphics. Well, let's go to fashion vid final. That's where it is. So fashion vid final right here. Oh, no graphics is fine. I'll rename it to graphics. So let's go to reveal sequence and project. So I right click, go to reveal sequence and project to find that sequence. There it is, fashion vid, no graphics. Let me rename it fashion vid horizontal. I can, if I wanted to, duplicate this, right click, go to duplicate. Instead of fashion vid horizontal, I'll write square demo. I'll double click it. It's not square yet, right? Because I haven't made it square. So I'll go to sequence settings, and I'll change the frame size from 1920 to 1080 to 1080 by 1080. And I'll go ahead and press OK. It's going to say, yeah, you're changing it. I'm going to say, yeah, I know. Okay, cool. Just give it a sec to update. Okay, so now it's made everything square, right? And sometimes it gets it right on the framing because all it did was it took it out of the center. But sometimes it doesn't. Like in this second clip here, you can see she's all the way off to the side. So I have to click on it. I have to go to effect controls. I have to reposition. Effect controls is up here. Right? That's like a whole lot of work to do for every single video that you're ever going to have to resize because it's always going to, this method is always going to take everything out of the middle. And you can see a lot of commercials, actually. They don't take the time to reposition things or resize things. You don't need to do this anymore. So let's go back to fashion vid horizontal. Give it a second to load up. We're a little bit over time right now, but I'm not worried. Are you worried? We're just going to do this one last thing. All right, this is an opening. Let's go to fashion vid final. And then all we have to do, again, right click, go to reveal sequence and project, right click, and there should be, where is it? Hold on. Auto reframe sequence. So it's going to automatically do it for you. So again, you are on the horizontal sequence. You go to auto reframe sequence and it's going to say, what do you want your new sequence name to be? Fashion vid final 1x1. Let's do fashion vid final square. What's your target aspect ratio? Square, vertical. What do you want? Square. And then this is motion tracking. It's going to ask, is the motion in your video slow or fast? You know, how should we consider this motion? I'm going to say it's slow. And then I'm just going to press create. And what it's going to do is it's going to create a sequence that is already reframed for you. See how that already reframed it? Sometimes it gets it wrong, so sometimes you got to go back and put things in order. But see how this is already reframed, this is already reframed. A lot of things have been adjusted because it can recognize where the subject is. It is smart. It is AI, artificial intelligence. And that, my friends, is everything that I've got for you for today. We ran a little bit long, but I think it was worth it. I hope you agree. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let me know. I would love to hear from you. I'm not going on the Discord server after this because I just think it's really hard to, to do discussions of editing over text. So, but if you have any specific questions, you can always, if you want, follow me on the gram. Shout out to the gram. You can follow me on there. I'm Valentina.Vee. Yes, Valentina.Vee on the gramola. And yeah, that's it. If you have any more questions, ask away. If not, then we're good. And again, the links, they should be on your screen, but if they're not, I'll put them over here. These are the links to go ahead and enter for a chance to win a full year of Creative Cloud and the free templates that I've been using throughout this discussion.